Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into one of the darkest episodes in medical history, the thalidomide tragedy. A drug that promised hope, but left behind a trail of unimaginable suffering. Before we begin, don't forget that we are a new channel and your support by subscribing means everything to us. Let's uncover this devastating story together. Thalidomide was first developed in 1953 by Grünenthal GmbH, a German pharmaceutical company primarily known for producing morphine substitutes. The drug was initially synthesized by Dr. Heinrich Muchter, one of the company's leading scientists. It was marketed under several names, including Contergan in Germany, and was primarily prescribed as a sedative and to treat morning sickness in pregnant women. The drug was available in over 46 countries under various brand names such as Distavel in the UK and Kevidon in the United States. Although never officially approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, thalidomide was distributed for testing in the United States, which nearly led to a much larger disaster had it been fully approved. Thalidomide was touted as a wonder drug because it was non-addictive and considered safe for use by pregnant women. However, it was soon discovered that the drug crossed the placenta, directly affecting fetal development. Thalidomide's most notorious impact was on the formation of limbs. Fetuses exposed to the drug in the early weeks of pregnancy experienced phocomelia, a condition that results in severely shortened or malformed limbs. Some babies were born with no arms or legs, while others had improperly developed internal organs. One of the most alarming aspects of thalidomide was its role in causing miscarriages and stillbirths. Although exact numbers are unclear, estimates suggest that the drug led to thousands of miscarriages across the globe, in addition to the roughly 10,000 known birth defects. Between 1957 and 1962, approximately 10,000 babies were born with severe birth defects as a direct result of thalidomide. The drug's use was most widespread in Europe, Canada, Japan, and Australia, with an estimated 40% of affected babies dying within the first year of life. In many cases, families were unaware that thalidomide was the cause until years later. The drug was sold without adequate clinical trials, and it wasn't until 1961 that Australian obstetrician Dr. William McBride and German pediatrician Dr. Wittekind Lenz identified the link between thalidomide and birth defects. By the time the drug was withdrawn, the damage was irreversible, affecting generations of families. The thalidomide disaster was largely a result of poor scientific testing. At the time, there was no regulatory requirement to test drugs on pregnant animals before approving them for human use. This gap in medical research led to widespread approval without understanding the long-term effects. Despite the drug being sold in 46 countries, including Germany, the UK, and Japan, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, never approved it for market, thanks to the efforts of one vigilant scientist, Dr. Frances Kelsey. Her skepticism likely saved thousands of American lives. Pharmaceutical companies faced lawsuits from families affected by the disaster. In Germany, Grünenthal, the original manufacturer, only issued a formal apology in 2012, more than 50 years after the drug was first sold. Compensation funds were established in many countries, but for many victims, justice came too late. The suffering caused by thalidomide led to long-term physical and emotional challenges for survivors, many of whom still live with the effects today. Though the exact numbers are difficult to pin down due to incomplete records, estimates suggest that over 20,000 people worldwide were directly impacted by thalidomide. This includes not only those born with deformities but also those who suffered psychological and social difficulties later in life. The tragedy fundamentally changed the way drugs are tested and approved, ensuring that no such disaster would ever happen again. The thalidomide disaster stands as a stark reminder of the importance of scientific rigor and ethical responsibility in medicine. It changed the course of pharmaceutical history, compelling governments to adopt stricter drug testing regulations to protect future generations from similar horrors. Thank you for joining us in this in-depth look at one of the darkest medical tragedies in history. Thalidomide reshaped the world of medicine, and the lessons learned from it continue to influence modern pharmaceutical practices. If you found this video informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're here to uncover more compelling stories, and your support helps us bring these important topics to light.